Okay, so what shapes happiness across Europe? In 2017, the happiest country in Europe was Finland. In 2018, it was Finland. In 2009, Finland again. But while the Nordic countries sat comfortably at the top, something else was happening. Happiness across Europe was shifting. Some countries in the West saw their scores dip, while a few in the East started to climb. The question is why? Despite its rich history, culture, and progress, is split in happiness. It's not just about wealth, it's about how life feels. Some European countries have mastered the art of well being, while others are still figuring it out. And that's where the story gets interesting. Let's take a journey through 3 years of happiness, where the numbers reveal more than just rankings. They tell the story of how life has changed over millions of people over a time period of 3 years. Let's start with the usual suspects, of course Finland, Norway, Denmark, and Iceland. They don't just rank high in happiness, they literally own it. Year after year, these nations dominate happiness reports with scores consistently hovering about 22 on a 25-point scale, which is very good. A level most other nations can only dream of. It's not just about money. Sure, they have high GDP per capita, above $55,000 per person. But what really fuels their happiness is something deeper. Let's dive deep into it, like trust, security, and a sense of belonging. People in these countries know that if they fall, someone will catch them, whether it's government policies, social support, or just a friendly neighbor. No one is left behind. Now, let's travel to East, and the numbers tell a different story altogether. Some countries like Czech and Estonia have made impressive gains. The happiness scores have risen by over a point in the last decade, thanks to economic growth and improved governance. But there are countries also like Bulgaria and Romania have had a hard time closing the gap, with the happiness score stuck below 20 despite rising GDP. For some nations, the GDP per capita lags behind with the less than 25,000 per person, half of what the happiest nations enjoy. And when it comes to the health, the life expectancy gap is nearly 6 years, shorter than in the West Europe. For many, daily life is a hustle. There's a silent pressure to succeed, to secure a future, to navigate uncertain times, and while some cities thrive, others struggle with the lack of resources and opportunities, of course. It's not that people who aren't happy, it's the happiness feels more like a goal to chase rather than a state of being. At this point, you might be wondering, does GDP per capita even matter? The answer is yes, but only up to a point. Luxembourg being the richest country with an exceptionally high GDP per capita, but its happiness score isn't dramatically different from other Western European countries, as you can see. This proves that after a certain point, more money doesn't always mean more happiness. Whereas Czech Republic, with the lowest GDP per capita, also being one of the least happiest countries. This reinforces the idea below a certain economic threshold. Financial struggles do impact happiness significantly, while others, like Ireland, GDP per capita is $100,000 plus, maintain high happiness levels. So, what truly matters? Is it health? Is it freedom? Is it connection? I think it's all. A country where people live longer, have the freedom to make choices, and feel a sense of community will always outscore a nation that only focuses on economic growth. It turns out happiness isn't about having more, it's about feeling more. So, what's the takeaway here? Is happiness something a country is born with, or can it be designed? The numbers says it can be built. Nations that prioritize social safety, work-life balance, and trust in leadership consistently rise in happiness rankings. And the good news, Eastern Europe is improving, with some countries gaining points year after year. If more nations follow this model, we may one day see a Europe where happiness isn't divided by geography, but shared by all. And that's a future worth striving for.